Now, as I have said in previous videos, there are certain rules in my life that I do my best to live by. And one of them is, in a moment when circumstances have proven that what you have said is correct, do your best not to gloat. Don't rub people's noses in it. By and large, I live by this rule because I also understand something. Like the line from that old country song, some days you're the Louisville Slugger, but some days you're the ball. However, there are moments in life that come along that are just so deliciously rich that you have to take them in, taste them fully, and appreciate them for what they are. So if you, my audience, will give me a little bit of grace, I'm going to have one of those moments right now. I was right. I was right. I was absolutely right. I was right. I was right. I was absolutely right. Oh, I can't wait to get into this with you. Hang on. We're going to talk about. Hey, boys, cue the music. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Now, if you're wondering why I'm grinning like a cat that got into the cream and I am hopping around just hooping for all it's worth, this is one of those moments in life when I predict something comes true and I just feel that much joy about it. Not that, I say things that aren't true or come true infrequently. Often they are true, but still, even though I really try not to gloat, I do enjoy those moments. If you're wondering what I am referring to, reference back over the weekend. In a discussion from a front porch post, I said that there's a distinct possibility that when the indictment comes down, and it did, that it would actually redound to Donald Trump's benefit. And you'd start seeing that in the polling. Well, sure enough, the polling has come out, and old Uncle Front Porch has been proven right. We're going to take a look at two or three different polls. All of them show that the indictment has had a positive effect for Trump. Let's get into it. We're going to go first to realclearpolitics.com. This is a tracking board of polls on the GOP presidential nomination fight. There are three polls that have come out since the indictment came down last Thursday, March 30th. Yahoo News, YouGov, Trafalgar, Insider Advantage. We'll get to the YouGov last, not because I don't think the poll's not important, but I want to show some things from the Insider Advantage and Trafalgar first. Now, the first poll we're going to take a look at is Insider Advantage. It's run by a fellow by the name of Matt Towery. He's a pollster that specializes in the South, Georgia in particular, but he's good on national issues. So he did a poll that ran March 31st, Friday, to Saturday, April the 1st, 550 likely GOP primary voters, asks the question. Now keep in mind, this is after the indictments come down. This is after the news has circulated. This is after everybody's had a chance to marinate this in their brain, and then they get asked the following question. If you were voting today to choose the next Republican nominee for president, for whom would you vote? Donald Trump, 57%. DeSantis, 24%. Nikki Haley, 5%. Mike Pence, 4%. Chris Christie, 2%. Everybody else is at 1%. Undecided is 4%. Now, a couple of things of significance about that poll. Number one, Donald Trump is on the door of 60%. Number two, if you take DeSantis' number and give him everything else that everybody has got, plus the undecideds, he still can't beat Trump. That's how much of an impact the news of this indictment has had to the benefit of Donald Trump. It's amazing. I've never seen a galvanization like this around one person in all the years I've been following politics. This is extraordinary. Now, lest you think that this is just a one-off, let me show you something from Trafalgar's poll. Give me 1 second here. This is from the Trafalgar Group, run by Robert Cahaly. A lot of people accuse him of being a Republican pollster. No, he just has to be accurate. This was a survey that was done on Friday, March 31st through Sunday. 1,123 respondents, likely GOP presidential primary voters, margin of error of 3%. That's about normal for a Trafalgar poll. Now, watch this. Here are the numbers prior to Trump even discussing the possibility that he might be indicted. Trump's sitting at 53, DeSantis at 32, Liz Cheney's at 5, Nikki Haley at 5, on down the line. Now, you'll notice the gap between DeSantis and Trump. All right, DeSantis is behind, but it's manageable, and it's still very early in the process. Watch this. These are the numbers after the indictment came down. Trump, 56%. DeSantis dropped 10 points. The only person in this poll outside of Trump who actually picked up people was Liz Cheney. She went up 5 points, which means she siphoned off some of DeSantis' vote, but the rest of what DeSantis lost went to Trump. I'm sorry, that indictment has galvanized Republican primary voters to Trump. Maybe these are hardcore Republican voters. Maybe these are people who are on the edges, or they're on the margins, or they're not paying attention yet. But I'm telling you right now, that indictment has absolutely wedded Republican primary voters to Trump. One last poll, at least of the three we're going to immediately talk about. This is from YouGov. Poll ran March 30th, which was Thursday, and Friday the 31st. If your state's 2024 Republican primary for president were held today, who would you vote for? Donald Trump, 52. Now, not as robust as the other two polls, I grant you. But again, you'll notice DeSantis has less than half. I mean, if you 21%, even if you doubled him, he's at 42. But he's got 21 in this poll. If you take everything else again and you give it to DeSantis, he still can't beat Trump. I've said it a moment ago, I'll say it again. That indictment, the news of it, has absolutely, for the moment, changed the dynamics of this GOP primary fight for the nomination to run for president. People who were on the edges, on the margins, they weren't really thinking about it, they saw this indictment come down, and they've made up their mind what it means. And if you don't believe me or you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you one more thing going back to Matt Towery's poll. Take a look at this. He asked some questions aside from who would you vote for, and one of them was this. I want to read this verbatim. Some in Congress argue that the Democrat-controlled federal departments and agencies and some state and local agencies, such as district attorneys in largely democratically controlled cities, have actually become weaponized against Republicans and conservatives, creating a two-tiered system of justice. What is your opinion? I agree. They have been weaponized against Republicans and conservatives. 79%. Ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely incredible. People can see this indictment for what it is. They see that the charges are shaky, the legal grounds are even shakier, and they're coming to the conclusion, hey man, this ain't nothing but trying to go after your political enemy. A couple other polls. Both of them are national polls. One of them just dropped tonight. And this is from Reuters Ipsos, so take a look at this. This is more of a before and after. March 20th, according to Reuters Ipsos, Trump had a lead on DeSantis, 14 points. Now take a look at this. Post-indictment, Trump's numbers go up a little bit. I'll grant you a little bit. But look what's happening to DeSantis. He's dropping like a stone. According to the most recent Reuters Ipsos poll, Trump's got a 29-point lead on DeSantis, and that's after the indictment has come down. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's one more poll. Now, this one was not done after the indictment, but it's got something in it that I think is very significant, and I think people need to take a look at. This comes from the Redfield and Wilton Strategies Group. This was done, let me see if I can find it here, March 20th. Biden-Trump, they're tied. Biden-DeSantis, there's a 7-point difference in favor of Biden. You know, all those DeSantis people out there who say, oh, Ron DeSantis is the only person that can beat Joe Biden. Not according to this. So just some food for thought. Now, some final thoughts. How long can these numbers stay this high for Donald Trump? Don't know. I think a lot of that is going to depend on the behavior of of Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney. I think a lot of it's going to depend upon the rulings in court, particularly on the motions. I think people are going to be watching this to determine the fairness of the proceedings. Is Donald Trump getting a fair shake in a Manhattan courtroom? If people think that that's not the case, and they continue to perceive this as a political indictment, as one person, Bragg, trying to take out Donald Trump under the guise of he must obey the law, no man is above the law, and such that he will not run for president. I think those numbers are going to stay sky high. I heard one pollster today, Rich Barris, a.k.a. the People's Pundit. If you're not following him, you need to. He made the statement, if Trump starts cracking above 60%, the GOP primary fight is over before we ever get to the Iowa caucuses. It's done. Doesn't matter who else gets in this race. Does not matter. Trump's got the nomination if he starts cracking above 60% in the polls, which he's not that far away right now. So how's all this going to shake out? No idea, but this is going to be a load of fun to watch. And once again, old Uncle Front Porch, he called it. As we start to wrap this up, do me some favors as always. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, share the video around. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.